Well, with Betsafe ambassador, Mr. Tony Bellew. Tony, where are you at the moment? We know you're going to have another fight.
Yes.
What are you going to do? There are lots of potentials out there.
We'll have another couple. You never know where it's going to lead. So it might not just be one. It might be a handful. I've trained really hard today. I've been with my coach Dave Caldwell, punching hard. The hand's great. No reaction. So I'm in a good place. I'm looking forward to finding my next victim.
They're out there, aren't they? Parker, Wilder. I know you saw Anthony Joshua the other week. You were commentating on it. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at living the dream. And the living the dream would be becoming heavyweight champion of the world. So, you know, there's an awful lot of avenues I can take. So I'm going to take my time which one I'm going to pick. I'm not in a rush. I know I look like I'm getting on, but I'm not that old, you know. It's I'm just going to take my time and make the right decision for me ultimately and not them. We'll know soon enough, you know. I like the Joseph Parker fight, yes, I do. But I also do believe there is unfinished business with Sideshow Bob.
Really?
There is. Listen, everybody goes on about this injury, and although he hasn't harped on about it, all he's done is show pictures of him in a cast, and he's hitting a bag now. No one's interested, mate. Just fight or shut up. So, you know, it is what it is. We'll see where it leads, but if people want to see a rematch, I'll do it again. I'll do him. Not a problem. But he has to understand now who's in charge. It ain't him no more. I had to dance to his tune last time. I will not dance again. This time he will dance. I've got the pole ready, and I've got me £5 notes ready to put in his underpants as he's dancing.
You gave the impression that you're kind of done. You've beaten David Haye and you've moved on, and you were looking at being a world champion. But is there anything about that would entice you to fight David Haye again then? It
is an enticing fight to a certain extent. I know I can beat him. He's still a very powerful, brilliant fighter. He's good at what he does. But make no mistake, it's I think the fans want to see it again. And I think it does big numbers. So, you know, that's what we're in this sport for. We'll see how it goes. You know, I don't want to commit to one fight too much. I like the Joseph Parker fight more than I like the David Haye fight. So, you know, is that more of a possibility? I don't know. What I will say is the dream is to become heavyweight champion of the world. I don't get that dream fulfilled by beating the hay faker.
Would you say your best shot at becoming heavyweight champion of the world is via Parker?
Yes, I think that's a fair comment. Very fair comment, yes, I do. I think Wilder's a bit big. But listen, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So, you know, you just never know in this game. It can all turn around in 24 hours. I've been there and done it before. So we'll just see how it goes.
Is there something about you, because of the nature of how you get on, that you wouldn't want to fight Anthony Joshua?
That'll never happen. I wouldn't even entertain talking about it. So it's never going to happen, mate. The people want to see me on a slab. Is that what's going to retire me from boxing? It won't happen. Not just the fact that he's too big. I've got an awful lot of respect for the lad, and I admire him. You know, the kid's younger than me, but I admire him. What he's done for us as boxers is phenomenal. He's a friend of mine, so, you know, he's someone I like. He's someone I've known for a number of years. I met him when he was on the GB squad, when I was up sparring Carl Froch. I've known him for a long time, and he's got to be one of the nicest people you could ever wish to meet. And, you know, yeah, I wouldn't even entertain it. So all the money in the world's not going to. There's no point in having all the money in the world if you're on a slab. It's just no point. There's no point being rich and then hate, or being rich and not being able to use it or utilise it. There's just no point in it. So you've got to be clever with what you choose and what you say and what you do. So we'll see how it goes.
Robbie Fowler's relative is here fighting. What do you know about him? And I'm guessing you're not backing him, are you? He's a red.
I am backing him. He's a friend of mine. Although it's horrible to say he is a red, you know. They're everywhere these days. They just appear from nowhere. But he's a really, really talented kid who's got so much heart and so much bottle. He reminds me of a better version of me when I turned pro. He's got so much more experience. He ticks all the boxes that I tick when I turn pro. He's aggressive. He can punch. He likes a fight. He loves boxing. I see myself in him as a youngster, so I'm just hoping. Well, I already know he will live the sport. He lives it through and through. So He has every chance, and he will be given every opportunity at the Matchroom stable to succeed and achieve the goals that he set out for himself. I do believe he'll walk through British level. I do believe he'll beat European level, the world level. He's going to have to improve. He's going to have to progress, and he couldn't have a better coach in the game than Dave Caldwell. He's a perfect coach for Anthony Fowler. I really do believe that. I'm not just saying because he's my coach. The proof's in the pudding. He improved me tenfold as a fighter. So, you know, I believe he will only do the same for Anthony Fowler. I'd like to bring in Edward Hearn at this point, my dear promoter.
Eddie, how are you?
I didn't recognise him without the beard. I thought he was a young, you know, whippersnapper. He looks about 10 years younger without the facial hair.
Them days are long gone.
Long gone. He's a Betsafe ambassador now, Eddie. You know, and we've sharpened him up a little bit.
Listen, you're lucky to get him. I can't believe how in demand he is since he won that fight against that. I can't remember the guy's name he beat now, but you know, commercial deals coming out of his ears. And listen, it's great to see Tony Bellew getting the credit he deserves. And you know, you'll see him at ringside for all the big UK fights, not where he's not fighting, and the passion he's got. He nearly put Anthony Joshua in a headlock when he beat Klitschko. I've actually decided with Joshua, because he goes into this zone, that when he's won, I never grab him, and I go up to him and I say, well done, mate, well done. He has grabbed him in a headlock. I'm thinking, oh, whoa.
I lost it because what people don't understand is Anthony's the figurehead for boxing. In the world now, he's the face of boxing on a global stage, not just the domestic stage anymore. And he's given us all an opportunity and a chance to progress financially, you know, commercially, every way possible. And him beating Klitschko, everything was on it, not just for him, but for us, for everyone. Everyone had everything on it. So when I was screaming and jumping in the end, I just lost it. When the fight was over, I'd done a bit of commentary at the end of the 10th.
I thought you were doing it because you like Joshua. I didn't realise you were doing it because it meant
it's all about him.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I love him, but I don't need any more pressure, in all honesty. And I love the lad. Like I've just told you, he asked me what to fight him. I said, do I need to go on a slab? I said, no, I've got a lot of love for the lad. I've known him a long time.
You'll see him jumping around on Saturday as well. If you go back to the Carl Froch, Lucien Boutte fight, you'll see a light heavyweight Tony Bellew, who's actually more like that than he is these days, jumping up and down, going mad. And he'll be doing the same on Saturday because, you know, we're a tight-knit group. Boxing is a tight-knit community. And everybody who knows Kell Brook will be just absolutely, you know, egging him on to win on Saturday night. Absolutely.
Well, we've just been talking about Tony's future. Obviously, we think that Barker might be the best way for him to become the heavyweight champion of the world. But he's not ruling out a rematch with David Haye. How serious could that be, Eddie?
Well, I think that tends to be the fight that when you do the polls and, you know, you ask the question across social media, David Haye rematch is one that the people want. Obviously, to take that fight, Tony had to do a lot of things that he didn't really want to in terms of the deal. So he needs to make sure that he gets the respect he deserves as the winner of that first fight. And I think David will understand that. If he's serious about the rematch, and we'll talk over the next couple of weeks, we don't have a problem with fighting David Haye again if the deal is right. You know, and I think that, of course, the carrot and the lure of becoming heavyweight champion of the world is important and it is nice. But also, Tony wants to be in the big fights that people want to see. You know,
what he has to understand is now, he's not in control anymore because I don't need him. I've beat him. He needs me, and that's what he's going to have to understand. So, speak to him. No good speaking to me. Speak to him.
Where's the venue? Where could you fill for that? I mean, we've seen Wembley filled recently. I mean, what are you thinking?
I can fill any of those, but I'll tell you what, Tony Bellew does fight very well at the O2. You know, it's a lovely arena. We can't rule that out as well at the same time. But you know, I think he's started to tick back over now. And you know, looking at David Haye on social media, his rehabilitation seems to be going well. So you know, we hope that he can be in a position to fight again. We wouldn't rule that fight out. You know, and I think probably October, November, December is the months that you'll see Tony Bellew in action. And the plan over the next, you know, 3-4 weeks is to decide who that foe may be.
What's the percentage? What's the chance of fighting David Haye again, would you say?
What, the split or the likelihood?
Yeah, what would you say?
50-50? You don't want to know the split.
Talk percentages with him.
Yeah, you don't want to know the split.
We've got to know your business. Yeah, what are the chances?
Listen, I think it's 50-50. It's him or Parker. There's Wilder out there, yes, and I know he ain't got a fight planned and scheduled. There's so many different options available and avenues. If it was down to me, I could get myself in a lot of trouble. This is why I have him. He looks after me and chooses what's best for me, because if Tony Bellew chooses what's best for Tony Bellew, it's not a good outcome. So, you know, I'm not going to...
He gets you into a lot of fights.
Yeah, he does. But that's what I need. Because without these fights, mate, there's no wedding, there's no kids.
I'll tell you, when we took that fight against David Haye, I come out of a meeting, and it was quite hard being in a meeting, because I'm close to Tony. I have to bite your lip and sort of listen to these people basically telling you that Tony Bellew is worthless, and let's be honest, he's lucky to even be in this fight. And, you know, you have to play the game with these people and sort of, yeah, I know what you mean, but come on, mate. You know, and you push them to a point, and I came out of the meeting, I phoned Tony, I said, look, listen, mate, this is the best we're going to do. Well, yeah, these people, but I said, but listen, you can beat him, and if you can, there's a lot of money anyway, but go and do the business, and then you'll be in such a great position. He's done all that, so he's done his part of the bargain. If there's a rematch, it has to be on terms that we want this time. And listen, David Haye still makes a fortune and gets a chance to avenge a loss that he must avenge if he's going to continue in the sport.